people love this show is because they connect with the characters. So do you have like a fictional character that you connect with in that way?
Yeah, I think so. Probably the fictional character that for me resonates, that I connect with most, is Castiel from Superman. He's sort of like the hero of this show to sort of bring in underworlds. Yeah.
Can you tell me why you connect with him? Like, I don't understand why you would say that.
Well, to be honest with you, the two of us have bear a striking resemblance. So that's one thing. I'm trying to come up with a better answer for you about a fictional character that resonates with me. I guess I take... No. Yeah. It's funny because I was a nerd when I'm still a nerd, but I was like a super fan of not of television or not of sci-fi characters or anything like that. I was a super fan of National Public Radio, like super dorky shit. And so much so that when I was 18 years old, my girlfriend got me a birthday present. It was for my 18th birthday. It was like, we were in Northern Virginia, and she said, so I got a present for you. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I have to take you somewhere. And I was like, okay. She was really bad at keeping secrets, and I was like, okay, I don't want you to tell me, but just give me a hint so I can like percolate on it. And she said, I'm not giving you a hint because I don't want to spoil it. And I was like, just tell me where we're going. And she said, no. And I said, fine, give me the address. And she said, 2020 M Street Northwest. And I was like, oh fuck, that's National Public Radio headquarters. That was what I nerded out on, and was like, I just wanted to be in the hallowed halls of NPR, and ended up like interning there and then working there, and now I even have a couple of friends who are like old radio personalities from National Public Radio because I was just like enamored of them. But I actually did also take inspiration from some of those people and the work that they were doing. And as far as I know, they're not fictional characters. I think they're real people. Yeah. That child did not like my answer.
I'll take it. That's right. Like the Misha answer.
I think we actually kind of like...
I think we made up.
Like, I wouldn't go so far as to say we made up, but we're mending fences.
Okay.
We're getting back to a better place, and I feel like now maybe we can, with a mediator obviously, we could have further conversation.
Yeah, well I have an off with you and Jensen later, so he can be the
mediator.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, I think you need
Yeah,
that.
great. Please, yeah. Make sure that you keep the distance. I love that. Hi. You're now approaching the microphone gingerly, like, I don't know if this was a good idea. How are you?
Amazing. You're my favorite character of every TV show ever.
What? That's amazing. You have incredible taste.
I'm kind of having a hard time. Okay. I don't know if I said my name. My name's Chantal.
Hi, Chantal.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
So one of my favorite parts of Supernatural is when the characters get to play another character, and I loved when you played Lucifer. So I was just wondering how you felt about that.
I had a lot of fun with it. So I watched Mark Pellegrino's performances. I just had like the DVDs, and I was like going back and watching scenes that he had done, and I was like trying to mimic his mannerisms and trying to get, trying to copy that a little bit. And then, as it turns out, Mark was in town in Vancouver filming something else, because he's always working, because he's actually a good actor. And he was in town, and I called him up and I was like, hey Mark, could I actually, it was the morning that I was going to start filming Lucifer, I was like, hey, I just had this thought, like, would you actually just help give me some pointers on like what your thought process is as Lucifer so that I can maybe better, emulate you? And so I went over to his apartment and we went through the scenes that I was going to be filming later that day. And he gave me some real great hints, but he also gave me this one very useful tidbit. He said, whenever I'm playing Lucifer, I have running through my head, I'm having a conversation with another character, I ask myself, do I want to kill them or do I want to fuck them? And that really helped with the character. As I was going through scenes, I was always like, that was always the question that I was posing. And interestingly, I found it sort of brought a little vibrancy and life to the character that just wasn't there when I was doing the mimic work. And I've noticed that it actually brings that same vibrancy to my waking life. Don't you wonder what I'm thinking right now?
I'm going with what I hope you're thinking.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, Misha. So my name's Amanda. I'm the crazy fan that made Elena drive all the way here from Connecticut.
Oh, you drove from Connecticut?
Yes.
Holy smokes. That is crazy.
Road trip. Okay, so my question is, has there ever been a scene where you just kind of got taken out of the moment, forgot to act, and it was just your genuine reaction, personality?
I think most of the scenes that I filmed, I forgot to act. That's how you get that wooden performance of Castiel on screen. I think there's many times, especially on Supernatural, to be honest with you, there were times I'm revealing things that I shouldn't reveal here, but after, working on a show for a dozen years and reading, what sometimes felt like the same script 13 times, there were times when we would start filming on a Monday morning, and Jensen and I would look at each other and be like, hey, have you read the script? And both of us be like, oh. I mean, life gets in the way, So there are times when we would go into a scene and be like, hey, so director, just what are your thoughts about, what's going on in the scene? Because we had no idea what was going on in the scene. And I think that sometimes that really came across in our performances. In TV, and this is the same for film, almost all the time, you're filming things out of sequence. There are things like the locations. So for example, if we're filming on location, say we're filming on a farm with sharks, and there'll be a handful of scenes throughout the episode that take place on that farm, but they're not necessarily all in sequence. But because it's so expensive to bring all the trucks and all the crew out to the farm, they'll shoot all the farm scenes together. And they won't even necessarily shoot those farm scenes in the sequence that they show up in the episode. And there'll be times, because we're shooting it out of sequence, there'll be times when we'll Sandy and the cast will do a scene and we'll all be kind of lighthearted and laughing, and the characters will be chummy with each other or whatever, and then the director will come over and say, hey guys, that was great. Love to do one more time. Do remember that you just started the apocalypse. And we'd be like, oh, right, shit, sorry, thanks, that's useful. Oops.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hi.
Hi, Misha. I'm Carly.
Hi, Carly.
I'm an actress, and
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I just booked an agent this past Tuesday using Cass's monologue to TV.
What?
Yeah.
an edition of that that I did, but congratulations.
Thank you very much. So my question is, if you could go back in time, when you were starting your professional career, what's something that you would change or do differently to, I guess, help guide your path better?
I probably would have, I would have booked the role of young Darth Vader. I really fucked up that audition. Shit. You know, I'm not somebody that dwells in regret much, but every once in a while I'm reminded, like, I really fucked up that audition for being on Darth Vader. You didn't ask about this, but I'm gonna tell you. Because I have a microphone and I can do whatever I want. So money just fell from the sky. My agent called and was like, "Hey, Misha, the casting director for the new Star Wars movie wants to see you for the role of the young Darth Vader." So this was the second reboot, whatever, the prequel, whatever the fuck. What's it called? Attack of the Clones. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Thank you, sir. Here. Are you told So I go and I'm like, okay, can you send the audition material? Because usually there's like a scene that you have to do or something. There is no audition material. You just go to this weird hotel. So I'm like, somebody gonna just like take advantage of me in a hotel room again? Is that what this is? So I'm like halfway expecting her to be like, "No, pretend you're a pizza delivery man." So I go to this hotel in West Hollywood and I sit down with this woman casting director who just says, "Tell me about your life." And so for half an hour, I tell her about my life, and then a month later, I get a call, and it's my agent again, and he says, "So they want you to come up and meet George Lucas at Skywalker Ranch. It's down to you and 4 other guys for the role of Anakin Skywalker." And at this point, there were front page articles in the gossip rags about who was going to be the next Anakin Skywalker. And it was such a top secret thing that they said, so I had to fly out to San Francisco, and then it was an hour and a half drive up to Skywalker Ranch. And when they sent a driver from Skywalker Ranch to pick me up, but I was instructed that I was to tell the driver that I was going for a sound recording session for something unrelated. I couldn't tell anyone that I was in the mix for this. It was top secret. And to put the fear of God in me, they told me that for the first movie, they had cast a different kid to play the 7-year-old Anakin Skywalker, and he told his classmates that he had got the part, so they fired him, and the kid that was in the movie was their second choice. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna tell anyone. And I got up to Skywalker Ranch, and I was there a little bit early. And so I had like an hour to kill, so it was like this beautiful college campus, and I went for this walk in the woods, and I came to this fence, and there were these like llamas across the fence, these beautiful rolling hills. I was walking back, and I was like coming across this little stream on a log, and I slipped. And so I went into the audition with literally it's not an audition, it's just like a meeting in George Lucas's office with the casting director and George Lucas. And as I walk into the room, my foot is going, and my pant leg is wet up to the knee, which is not like how you want to show up, right? But then the casting director was like, to tell George about, your life. But I was such an idiot, and I was such a young, kid. I was like, well, surely she's already shown him the tape, right? She hadn't. And I didn't want to repeat the same story as a second time in front of a person that I've already told the story in front of. So I talked about nothing for an hour with George Lucas, but I did get to play with Luke Skywalker's lightsaber from the original movies. It had real heft to it. And I was like, oh my God, this is so fucking cool! And I finished my time there with George Lucas, and I had some time before my flight back down to LA, and so I had the driver bring me into San Francisco, and on the drive down, I was like, God, I want to call my best friend and just tell him what I had just done, because it was so cool. And then I was like, no, Misha, don't fuck this up. Just don't tell anyone, just don't fuck it up. And then I was in San Francisco, and I was walking down the street, and I went into this little pizza place, and I went to get a slice of pizza, and this pimply-faced teenager from behind the counter walked up to the counter and took my order, and I was like, kid, I just have to tell somebody. I was just up at Skywalker Ranch, auditioning for the role of Anakin Skywalker. I played with Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. And he was like, oh my God, that's so awesome, that's totally amazing. You know, my cousin is Natalie Portman. My parents own the llama farm adjacent to Skywalker Ranch. What's your name? And I said, Misha Collins. My brain just like oozed out on the counter, and I was like, what have I done to just ruin my entire life? And I walked a block away with my limp piece of pizza in my hand. And then I came back in, and I was like, please tell anybody that I told you the thing with them. Please don't say anything. But I'm sure he'd already been on the phone to Natalie Portman, like, hey, I just met Misha, hope that works out for you. Anyway, I didn't get the part, and I've always cursed myself, because I wound up getting stuck playing Castiel. Yeah, that's right. The moral for you is don't break your NDA, that's right. Thank you. Yeah, fine. Hi.
Hi, so my name is Wade.
Hi, Wade.
Hi. My question for you is a hot dog a sandwich?
It's funny, I hesitate to weigh into that. They've asked us not to talk about things that are too political. And I feel like that's one of those real dividing lines. Like, if I come out, you know, vocally on one side or the other of that issue, I think it's going to alienate a lot of the audience. So I just feel uncomfortable saying that. Of course, I do have my opinions about it, but I feel like this is probably not the appropriate space to share that. Does that make sense to you? I mean, I don't want to. I applaud you for being so open as to be willing to talk about these important things, because it does impact our lives. Like how we define these things is important, but it's also quite private. Wouldn't you say? And I want to try to respect other people's viewpoints, even if they're wrong. Is this something that you talk about openly, like your position on this, or do you just keep it within your family and church?
I mean, whoever's going to listen, I guess.
Oh, so you proselytize. Are you like one of those people at the airport who's like, you're holding up a sign, like, hot dog is not a...
I would say it's not. It's technically a submarine sandwich, I would say.
I mean, it's a free country. You're entitled, I guess you're entitled to your opinions and freedom of speech and everything, but also the words you have just said are pretty hurtful. Sorry, next question.
Hey, Misha.
Hi.
So, my name is Paige. Hi, everybody that's listening too. So I have a supernatural leg sleeve that I'm working on. Tattoos.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have baby, I have Castiel.
What?
I do. I have Saint Dean in there, I have a pie.
Has this already happened?
So a lot of this has already happened.
Because you're showing a lot of leg, but I don't really see it right now. Where is it on your leg?
It's on my calf.
I see. So it's something you're like, okay, I gotcha.
I'm working my way up, so most of my calf is still.
Oh, that's a shame because I kind of want a cast to be like upper inner thigh.
I'm so sorry.
I have an interesting wardrobe choice. You're here at a supernatural convention. You have a calf-length supernatural motif tattoo, but you're wearing tube socks.
Well, it's the fit, ma'am.
I hear you.
So my question is, what should I add to my leg sleeve tattoo?
I would say, upper inner thigh angel blade.
Come on now. Who was here for the dildo angel blade?
Oh my goodness, I can't believe you went there, because that is not at all what I was thinking. I was just thinking like, like a holster would normally, oh, shame on you. No. That's disgusting. Or, yeah, something like that. Or maybe a swarm of bees. What happened here today? You need more. You need different. You need better. How about a shark and a bear fighting?
If you request it, I shall get it. So.
A pizza delivery man?
I got him that on video, so
Okay.
I will.
Okay.
I'll tweet it at you or.
Okay, I'm sorry for having said that. I used to do this thing called GISH, the greatest international study. And one point early on, when I was doing GISH, I was like, my God, these people are fucking crazy. They'll do anything I say. I wonder if I was mustache twirling, I became evil. And I was like, what if I just made them, like, if they want a bunch of points, they have to get a tattoo. And I made them get, like, weird tattoos of, like, the Pope. And people did it. And people come up to me all the time and they're like, look, I've got a Pope tattoo on my ass. And there's Pope's face on my ass. Look what I did for you. And I was absolutely horrified by what I did with my power. You wonder, like, what would you do if you have, like, the power to, influence people? It turns out I will just have people permanently disfigure themselves. And I'd like to think that I learned from that, but apparently not, because I'm telling you to tattoo a pizza man and a swarm of bees coming out of your ass, so I'm a hopeless case. And thank you for drawing attention to that.
Thank you, I appreciate you.
Hi there.
Hey Misha, my name's Joey.
Hi Joey.
Tomorrow is my son's 21st birthday.
Oh my goodness, he is going to get so drunk.
He could have been anywhere, he chose to come here this weekend with you guys.
Oh, well, that's such an honor. Where is he? Is he here in the audience?
He's in the very back,
Where is he?
all the way back close to the gym.
Will you like raise your hands in the air? Can't see you, but hey, what's his name?
Xander.
Xander. Shall we sing happy birthday to Xander? Yeah! It's his 21st birthday. And he's squandering it with us.
Tomorrow, though, not today.
We'll see you again tomorrow.
So, if you could go back to 21, what advice would you give to a new 21-year-old starting in adult life?
What advice would you give to a 21-year-old starting on his path to the world?
Richard,
What?
what advice would you give to a 21-year-old starting out his path into the world?
Mike? What advice would you give to a 21-year-old starting their path to the world?
I would say ask Steve.
21-year-old starting their path to the world. The advice I would give, yes, is to check with Billy Bryan. William?
So check this out. I got shit-faced on my 21st birthday. I don't recommend doing that because there's all the years after drinking that you have, right? So don't worry about spending all of the 21st birthday on getting all the liquor in your system. Just pace yourself. That's what I'm saying.
Misha? I thought Billy was going to be like, Misha?
And the cycle continues. I think one bit of advice I would proffer that I think I wish I had known when I was younger is much like the answer to this question, life is actually quite long. And I think I made the mistake when I was young of thinking that every decision that I made was like the rest of my life. But it turns out you have so many chapters. So you can afford to iterate, you can afford to try things, you can take your time with things and trust that things will unfold in the time that they need to. You don't have to white knuckle it through every moment. I wish I had known that when I was younger.
That's as always, very well said.
Take another question. We have time to go.
Do we?
Yeah.
Fine. He's taking another question.
Do you want to ask a question? I thought we were done, so now I'm really nervous.
You don't want to ask, I thought this was a Q&A, so just
It's fine. We can do another one next day. It's like I was really ready to be done.
She looks like she doesn't want to go near the microphone.
No, she's afraid of the microphone. Go for it. Yeah.
Hi, Misha.
Hi.
It's Alicia. First of all, thanks for all the work you're doing in Ukraine. My husband's from there. My mother-in-law still lives there, so it means a lot.
Wow.
Is there any scenes from Supernatural that still stick with you emotionally?
Love your question. It's like, thanks for all the work you're doing with the war. Now, Castiel, does he really love being... I think that my last scene on Supernatural still resonates with me. It was just like that very meaningful declaration of love. I think that still resonates with me. But I think even more than that, there was an episode where Castiel had a curse cast on him by famine, and he had to eat a lot of hamburgers.
I just rewatched that one.
And boy, did I feel sick. And I still feel sick because of that episode. I was young. It was like the season, whatever.
Yeah,
and,
we saw that already.
Yo, you guys watched it?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Famine was the season where all the horsemen, right?
Yes, yeah, we saw that one.
Was that season 5 or 6?
Robert?
5.
So I was still new on the show, and I didn't know things like you're supposed to just spit it out.
That's a lesson for all of life. Well, if you have the answer, just say it. What did you guys mean?
The whole front row here nodded like, oh yeah. A lot of people learned that the hard way.
said yes, and I'm so sorry. I'm on you.
I didn't know that you were supposed to spit it out. I thought you were supposed to swallow it.
Well, there's the t-shirt that'll be in the first room.
And after every take, Robin, who was our props girl, who also got saddled with the job of taking refuse out of people's mouths, would come up to me with a napkin like, da, da, da. And I was like, okay. I had no idea, but by the time you get through take 25 and Burger 11, you're like, it doesn't feel good anymore. Right?
So the lesson here is, if it doesn't feel good anymore, spit it out, don't swallow. I'm gonna be sure we get the t-shirt right. Dick Jr. presents the quotes of Misha Collins.
Yeah. He's getting a taste of that.
I know, well, I gotta get a little something for daddy. Well, you just made it gross now. You did. No, your creepy little comedy look just made it weird.
It was all fine until that creepy look of yours, Rob. That crossed the line. I, meanwhile, have been holding uncomfortably long eye contact with the people in the front row.
This is why they come. Listen, this is why they come to the front. You don't sit to the front of the whale show unless you want to get wet. You know what I'm saying? It's just... Shamu, the splash.
Thank you for calling me a whale, by the way. You're welcome. Thank you for acknowledging that.
I'm so sorry that these people are like this. I am so embarrassed.
It's pretty rude and socially unacceptable the way they behave today. Well, now I see why we haven't come to Novi before. Luring. This suddenly turned into an angry mom committing a hate crime.
Yeah, they were fine with the fellatio bit, but Mr.